The truth is, the scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud.
The families of the 4 University of Idaho students murdered by Bryan Kohberger gave powerful and emotional statements in Kohberger's sentencing hearing today. Criminal defense attorney Jonna Spilbor joining us now to discuss. You just heard those comments there, Jonna. Listening to these statements today, it was gut-wrenching. What was going through your mind, seeing and hearing from these families?
It was hard not to be emotional just listening to these families, but I was really struck by a couple of things. First, how unemotional Bryan Kohberger was. He didn't blink, he didn't sniffle, he didn't shed a tear. He was a deer in the headlights. It's almost as if it were a performance, like he tuned these poor people out. And the other thing that really struck me is they were truly trying to do with their words to him what he did physically to their loved ones. And because he showed nothing, I feel like this poor family almost got smacked in the face by his lack of emotion. But the good news is, in this case, the victim impact statements were not going to change the ruling. The sentence was going to be what it's going to be. So for the families and the friends who spoke, just getting it out hopefully brought them some sense of peace, because Lord knows they're not going to have an explanation as to what really happened to their friends and family members. Maybe never, but certainly not for a long time to come.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Bryan Kohberger had the chance to explain why he targeted the victims. He declined. Could he ever make a statement?
I got this cold chill earlier today when I thought, you know what? Is this guy so cunning, so conniving, so evil that 5 years, 10 years, maybe when his own parents are dead and buried, is he going to figuratively knock on a court's door and say, you know what? You want to know what happened? You want to know why I did it? I'm ready to tell you, but you're going to have to reduce my sentence. Is something like that going to come down the pike? I wouldn't put it past him. I also don't think it will work. But darn, these families deserve to know. And you could tell from their statements, they are dying to know. And that's another sad part of this story.
We know Idaho police have released some investigative reports now. Post-sentencing, the judge decides which documents may be unsealed. Do you think that based on that we could ever get a clearer picture of what happened? I know the judge already acknowledged that a motive may never be known.
Yeah, and I would agree with that too, because if we had evidence of motive in any of the sealed documents, I think that would have come out, right? Bryan Kohberger maybe would have made a statement. He is playing that so close to the vest that I got to say, what has been sealed and what may be unsealed will simply be more evidence of his guilt, not motivation of what prompted him to do it. He might take his motive to his grave. In other words, I don't think there's a diary of Bryan Kohberger among the sealed evidence, so I don't believe we're going to see that.
And in the meantime, what an enormous loss for these families. Criminal defense attorney Jonna Spilbor, thank you for joining us again tonight on the National News Desk.
Thank you.